Hey guys, today we are going to do a goat series video, um, and I'm going to go over like forage, um, such as dry hay, baleage. I got some corn silage here, which is a little bit off the chart. So I believe last video I went over grain rations. Um, and it's a very, very important part of your goat diet. Um, most of it is energy and you're trying to put weight on your market animals. You're trying to put weight on as fast as you can, get them out the door. Your does, you're trying to keep them uh, in good shape if you're breeding or if you're kidding, especially while they're nursing. Keeping the energy there, that they're producing milk and they're staying healthy and whatnot. So yeah, the grain's really important. I believe I touched on the mineral a little bit in that video. Just out of all the stuff I'm talking about, the mineral is the number one. And so what I got here, I have a small sample of corn silage, and I'm going to talk about my experiences with that. I have fed corn silage. I had a few issues with it, and so I kind of dropped the corn silage and I revamped my ration to what I have now. Baleage, I feed a lot of baleage during the winter months. I do not have a sample of that because it's wrapped out back, and I'm not ready to use it, so I'm not going to pull it out. But I will have videos feeding that, explaining what I'm doing there and whatnot. So I'm going to flip you guys around here and show you my two samples, just so you know what I'm talking about. So once again, I got a small thing of corn silage, and then I just have some grass hay I picked up, just to show you what I got here. So here I got you flipped around. I just grabbed a small handful of hay, what we had at the end of the barn. So goats can pretty well eat any kind of hay. Anything thrown in front of them, they're probably going to eat it. Big thing is goats eat everything. Well, when it comes to hay, this is just a really, I would consider this a horse hay. It's a real nice fine. You will not find me feeding my goats a solid diet of this hay, because I am going to sell this for the most part. We just had a bale that kind of blew up, so I'm just showing you, the basics here. So like I said, goats can pretty much have any kind of hay. On this channel, I make a lot of like DNR properties, which is a lower quality hay with a few weeds in. Sometimes you get lucky, you get less weeds. Sometimes you get a little bit more weeds. I feed a lot of that. I feed a lot of, I believe it's a brome fescue. I couldn't even tell you what's all. It's, pretty much just a grass hay. And along with the alfalfa grass hay, you probably won't find me feeding a lot of that, mainly because what the prices are doing at this point in time. Goats don't need that type of feed. Um, and so I guess it's kind of, I believe I said it with the feed, it's kind of, it's what's available to you. You got to find what's available, what's affordable. I believe I had a bale of barley straw. I fed that up. I have thrown corn stalks in front of them. It depends on what you have. But the lower quality grass, sometimes you got to feed a little bit more green. Unless they're on pasture, then really you don't have to feed them much anything. And in the scoop here, I have just a small sample of corn silage. This is another one of those deals that if you're running a small herd of goats, this is probably not an option to you. And you have to be really careful with this as well. I've fed a lot of corn silage over the years. Most of the time it was my winter kidding group, the does. They got like I don't know, 5-gallon pail. It was like 10 does got a 5-gallon pail once a day or twice a day or whatever we did there for a while. The very last year I fed corn silage. I said, hey, this is working so well for my does. Why don't I feed it to everything? And I did. Everything got a pail of corn silage, or not a lot. I never, we never really overfed them. They did amazing. I had a group of market goats born in October. We had those gone really soon. They really added the weight, and they were right out the door. But with that year, I had lost a few goats to I can't think of what. Polio is one. There's another one. I can't remember what it's called. Something with a C, I believe. Basically, it's a bacteria issue. They get bacteria in their stomach. And one of them, you can usually, if you catch it, you can cure it. The other one is basically a death sentence. You basically need to pump them full of medication just to try and keep them alive, and you're out of luck. So if you are looking at feeding corn silage, it's going to do a very good job for you, but I would recommend having free choice what is it, sodium bicarbonate, or basically baking soda. I can't remember. I think it's something like that. But I've usually with the baleage, I'll have free choice, baking soda, whatever you'd like to call it. Hey, Ben. Yeah, and then the baleage. I'll flip you around here so you don't have to look at corn silage for the next few minutes. So the baleage that I feed, that's a big one. The corn silage, not everybody can do. You got to have it available. We have the steers, we have it available. Baleage though, pretty well anybody can handle that. You have to have enough goats. Basically, the bales have to be, if you're running a line wrap or an inline row of bales, you got to be pulling bales off of there I always told my customers every 2 to 3 days you want to be pulling a bale out of there. If you're getting individual, and you still want to be able to get that bale fed up within, the 2 to 3, possibly 4 day cycle. You want that to be fresh, and after that sits for too long, you're looking at spoilage. And the problem I had with the silage, the bacteria in there possibly could give you an issue. But I've had really good luck with the baleage. I've only fed it a year now. So what I have is barley and peas. I had made a video of wrapping that, how that all works. You want to baleage. You want to harvest about. I've heard a few different ranges. I was always told 40 to 60. I'm kind of leaning more towards the 35 to 60. I've heard lower than that, 25 to 45, which seems a little low to me, but last year's baleage did get a little dry on me. It was a little bit more dry, and there wasn't a lot of fermentation, it didn't seem. So I made some really nice stuff. The stuff I put up this year is higher moisture. I actually did it early in the morning, got some dew on it. We increased the moisture level a little bit that way. And yeah, it works really nice. I usually go through the bales, I believe, are about 5.5 foot. They're 3 by 3 by 5.5. I think every other day, the bale, we go through a bale. So the other thing, you got your hay, your baleage. I'm just going to quickly show what I've learned about hay feeders and what's the best system to use and what I've used. And so I'm going to flip you around again. I'm standing in the little barn here, which is still not completely cleaned out. I'm a little hung up now with back issues, so I'm not going to work too hard on it tonight. Possibly the end of the week, though. So I'm just going to quickly point out this hay feeder. Kind of hard to give you an idea of how that is. Basically, you got the rack on the top and the trough or manger underneath. Do not like that style. They pull too much hay out. If you stay on top of the manger, recycling the hay, it is okay. My problem is I usually don't stay on top of that. The bottom fills up. They also pull a lot of hay out, and it ends up in the pen, as you can see. So I'm actually looking at a different idea for this pen. I have a few ideas. I just got to get it done. Coming over here, oh boy, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Hay feeder, I believe this is a Premier, out of a Premier catalog or magazine. Basically, I bought there's a panel in there. I mixed feelings on these. If I were to do it again, I probably wouldn't put them in. It's kind of the same. But for feeding baleage, I throw my dry hay in here. My baleage, I don't know how well the lighting's going to be, but it's not too well. So on the other side of this fence here is the old cow manger where we fed our cows. And basically I throw the baleage in here. They reach their head underneath this bottom board, and they reach all the way out, and they eat the baleage on the outside of the pen. And the good thing about that is their heads are completely out. They're chewing and eating on the outside. They're not grabbing on and pulling out. like this style or the other style, they're not pulling the hay out, dropping half of it. They're always outside. And the good thing is, you know, you come in, you feed it. The next morning, you come up, you push it up for them. You scrape it up, you add more, whatever you got to do, and it's always there. And after so long, hey guys, I'm in the house now. So towards the end there, I think my phone decided to die. Apparently I was talking too much, which seems to happen a lot. So I hope you kind of found this interesting, learned a few things. Please, if you have any interest, questions, put them in the comments. I'd be more than happy to help you figure this out, whatever you need. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like the video, comment, like I said, questions, comments, if you're just confused, if you want to know more, if you got a different item that you just want to know if I know anything about, throw it down there. If you're into goats, subscribe. If you're into farming, subscribe. I really appreciate that. And like always, I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you next time.